Okay, welcome you guys. Tonight we are going to be talking about inviting. So last week we talked about preparing, how to prepare our businesses. Nichelle, I hope you were able to kind of backtrack and watch. If not, after this you can kind of backtrack too and watch. And let's see, can you go to the next? So this is what we were talking about last week. We kind of left off with,
we're not sharing the picture.
Oh, we're not. Oh, that's right. Oh, you guys can't see our picture. Hold on. Okay, now can you guys see that? Okay, good. So last week we talked about texting a picture of your goals to your upline support. We were completing, I think it was the first 3 steps, I think, in the launch guide. Starting doing our pipes, posting our goals in different places where we can see them, kind of clarifying our why we're doing this in the first place, and then scheduling some presentations with your upline and making sure that your LRP is at or above 100 so that you can actually get to commissions. Mm-hmm. So anybody want to share any thoughts about what they've been tackling, what they've been going through? I keep trying to use this here.
I was one of those last week.
Nobody? Anybody? I can't see the chat. Why can't I see?
I guess you guys know, but I'll share for the
All
others.
right, Matt, go ahead.
I think the hardest thing is just getting over the fear of inviting.
Yeah.
So just
we're going to talk about that tonight.
Put yourself out there and going, hey.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so far, I mean, I'll be honest. So far, I mean, most people aren't like, what? You know, I mean, they're like, oh, really? They're like, huh.
They're intrigued by it.
And some don't, you know. I'm learning that it's okay that they're not going to be an immediate yes, like, okay, like, tell me more, but just starting to kind of, I think I said this last week, like planting the seed, like you just kind of like put it out there and you kind of walk away.
Yeah.
Shelby, good to see you. Can you hear us now? Okay, good. Okay, so anybody want to share anything else, their experiences about some of the things they've been working on and preparing? Nobody? It's okay. For some reason, we can't see the chat screen anymore. So if you type in the chat box, you may need to like try to raise. I think there's a way you can raise your hand and hopefully we'll see that. Oh, there we go. Okay. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to share oils and products, how to share the opportunity with others, how to invite others to learn more, and then also how to remind people when you're meeting up with them, either one-to-one or whether it's in a class setting. So, so the more consistent your activities are, the higher your level of accuracy is going to be, and the more committed you are to your intentions, your whys, and the greater your success. So it's really not about perfection at all. It's really just about being about consistent persistence. Okay. Any of you guys have kids that are really persistent about things? We do. We have.
Is that a synonym? Persistent kids?
They are consistently persistent.
Uh-huh.
But really, it's not about perfection. It's about just being consistent and persistent. Consistent persistence in the activities that we're going to be talking about. Mm-hmm. So tonight we're focusing on the very first of the income producing activities in those pipes. Remember last week we talked about the PIPES. So preparing, inviting, presenting, enrolling, and supporting. And tonight we're doing the I. We're going to be talking about the I, which is the very first of those income producing activities. So even though all of the stuff we talked about last week in preparing is very important, it's not anything that's going to earn you income. So this is where one of the areas that we really want to focus your business on. And if you haven't already done this, it's a good time to start blocking out PIPES activities into your calendar. Because really success is scheduled. Any of you, I know Nichelle, you're an entrepreneur already. Any of you who have owned your own business, those kinds of things, you have to schedule it yourself. You have to be intentional about when you're doing certain activities, because that's the beauty of being your own boss, is someone else is not telling you what to do and when to do it, but at the same time, no one's telling you what to do and when to do it. Mm-hmm. So you want to block out those different activities in your calendar. You want to block out the times that you're preparing, maybe watching a webinar of someone who's doing a business strategy, or talking about different business building activities, or maybe you're learning more about the class that you're teaching, or different things that you're doing to prepare, like we talked about last week. You want to set aside time specifically to invite others. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about specific times that you're going to be scheduling to present to others, times that you're going to be enrolling, and then times to support others that you have been enrolling. So
I think this is an easy visual also, just to look through here and see how much blue there is, how much yellow, how much purple, how much orange, how much green, each one of those different colors representing one of the different letters in our pipes, and to see that inviting is a large chunk of the time that you're going to spend. You want to make sure, because if you don't have anybody that you're inviting to come and experience oils, to purchase oils, then we're not doing the business really. I mean, you can be the most knowledgeable person with essential oils, but if you don't have anybody that you're able to share that with, to have them purchase the oils, you're not going to be successful. So making sure, even, and I think this is the hard part for Amy and I, it just had to happen, but even before you feel like you're ready to share, you need to start sharing, and you need to start getting out and telling people and inviting people, and never be afraid of the question you don't know, because you can always go and find a resource or find an answer for those things.
Yeah, you're honestly never going to know enough. We're still learning, and then going back and oopsing about other things, just jump out there and take action. So, so this kind of goes back to, we're going to be IPing. It's a strange term, but you'll understand IPing now that you've been through all 6 weeks of this, because the IPE stands for your inviting, presenting, and enrolling. Those are the 3 income building activities. And so we're focusing on the first one of those tonight, talking about sharing, inviting, reminding others, and presenting and enrolling. So this is how you're actually reaching out to those who are prospects, either prospective customers, prospective hosts for classes and sharers, or prospective business partners. So if you have your build guides, I hope you guys have your build guides somewhere nearby. If you don't, grab that one and the launch guide. And shake your head yes with me. You've all completed your 100 names yet list. Yes, yes.
Yay, good.
If you haven't gotten quite there, keep adding, keep thinking through. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, how many of you have categorized your contacts with the little stars yet? Anybody done that yet? Not you have? Anybody else?
Not yet.
Okay, that's okay if you haven't. I just want to check and see who has and who hasn't. So in your names list, you've noticed that there's little stars, purple, blue, and green stars next to them. So you're going to circle or X or check mark, however you want to do it, the stars representing different people. So you're going to circle or X or however you want to designate it. The purple stars are who is somebody who really is in need of some natural solutions. Or maybe they're into health or fitness or green living, green cleaning, toxic stuff, actually not toxic stuff, but getting rid of toxins. Circle those with the purple, or designate those with the purple. And as you're doing that too, you're also going to be looking at marking with, and it can be, some can be in several categories, okay? But then with the blue stars, now you're gonna have less of these people, but who would be somebody who would host a great class? Maybe there's somebody who they're always hosting something at their house, or they just have really a gift of hospitality. or they throw the best parties, those kinds of people, okay? So there's going to be less of those stars, but mark those as well. And then there's going to be even less of these, but who would be somebody that you feel like you'd like to do business with? And you're going to mark those with the green stars.
And that can be for different reasons, but just somebody that you think, you know what, I want to partner with them. I want to do the business with them. So just if somebody jumps in your mind as that person, then you go write that down.
How did we end up over there? Did it do that?
That's been over there.
No, I mean, we had our screen over here and now it's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. What did you do? You broke it.
So as you're working through those, we're going to be thinking then about refining these. So you may have only worked through a few of those, but keep thinking through those as we go through this tonight, and then you can finish up later on tonight when you get more time. But we're going to refine those prospects, okay? So we're preparing 100 names, but we're going to be inviting 45 of those people. Because typically you invite 45 because we're gonna focus on 45 of them. And then out of those 45, typically you're gonna be presenting to about 30 people. And out of those people, just the law of averages says that about 15 of those will enroll with you. And then about 3 of those will be somebody who will want to partner with you in some way.
And I would say this number here is being generous, that if you invite 45 to get 30 of them might be generous. That might not be the number that we would expect.
With your first go round, I think, because with your warm market, you will have more people that will respond to you with your warm market, your first, because we had that probably in the beginning too, don't you think, when we first started. But so this is talking about supporting 3 builders here on the screen, but really, we want you to kind of just focus on 2 people to partner up with you. Last week, we said the term reach for elite, but structure for premier. And that still may not quite make sense to you right now, but I want you to note that again. Write it down somewhere, because you're working towards elite, but you're going to structure everything that you're doing with the people that you're enrolling for premier rank. Okay? So, So in narrowing down these people and refining our names, I want you to start visualizing or envision your ideal builder, okay? I want you to think about what kinds of words come to mind. Write down some of the qualities and attributes that you're looking for. And I can't remember if there's a spot here to do that where you can write those qualities down. We're looking at pages 8 and 9 in your launch guide. So just start thinking about some qualities and attributes you're looking for. What kind of characteristics do they have? Are they a self-starter? Is it somebody who is a person of integrity? Are they a problem solver? Maybe a giver? Maybe they're very generous in their giving. Maybe it's somebody who's a high influencer. So just jot some of those names. When you've got down some of those qualities, maybe one that I haven't named, just type it in the chat box. I'd love to hear what some of the qualities that you're looking for. Anybody have any thoughts? Outgoing.
Good.
Okay. Encouraging.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Yes.
good, Shelby.
Yeah, someone who's a great cheerleader. And just as a side note, I want you to think about the qualities that you're looking for in someone that you would want to partner with and that you would think would be a good builder. Do you see that in yourself? Because you're going to be attracting passionate. Yes, you're going to attract the people that what you're like, the type of leader or the type of builder that you are, you will attract those types of people. So, so let's look at kind of prioritizing the people that you have on your list. Okay, so you're going to go back to your build guide. We're going to kind of be shifting back and forth here from your launch guide and your build guide tonight. So look back at your build guide, and you're going to make some little tally marks or tick marks by those names. And actually, oops, let's see. And you're going to choose, I want you to think about the names that you've checked with the green stars. That's the ones that you categorized as a potentially good business partner, somebody that you'd like to do business with. And there may not be very many of them. Well, there'll be less for certain than your purple and your blue. So I want you to think about, to further kind of identify, I want you to place a tally mark next to the names with the qualities that we're going to talk about. So who do you know is either relationship oriented, or they're well connected with people, they're influential. Maybe they have that magnetic type of personality. Don't you know those people that you tend to be drawn to, or others are drawn to? And you may have some new names come to mind as you're thinking through these, because these might be somebody I would call, maybe there's somebody on your chicken list, maybe somebody that you would be intimidated by, maybe, or maybe somebody that you would maybe hesitant to approach about the business because, oh, they already own a business, or they don't have time, they're too busy. I've seen some of the most amazing new business builders in doTERRA already own businesses and be very successful in them, or are incredibly busy. Those are actually the people who prioritize well, and they get a lot of things done, and they do really well.
We used to have a phrase that just said, if you need something to get done, give it to a busy person.
Yes.
So,
okay, so put a tally mark next to those people. Put another an additional tally mark next to any of those people who are open to, or they live kind of a more natural lifestyle, or they're very active and into fitness. Put another tally mark next to those people who are high achievers. They're very goal-oriented, they're ambitious. Think about those types of people.
remember, we're working on the builders, so not everybody in the list. And that's part of why she's going so fast.
Yeah. Look at who is maybe purpose or mission driven. Somebody who's very service oriented, a giver. Maybe they're always doing some kind of service project and things like that. Put a tally mark next to anybody who's a little bit more entrepreneurial. Maybe they're looking for improved finances, or looking to improve their retirement. And then who's in a phase of life that supports building a business? Maybe they are looking for that retirement. Maybe I've had some people who are somewhat retirement age and have told me, I'm bored. I'm looking for additional hobbies. I have not had that yet, but you know, that would be a pretty good prospect. And then maybe a tally mark to somebody who's in financial need. Maybe they're motivated by money. Maybe they're looking for improving their finances in some way. So put those tally marks, and this is going to be your rating system. And you're going to want to try to choose the top 3 people in each of your categories. So maybe your top 3 people in your family, top 3 people in your friends section, maybe your top 3 people in your community group, and other. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact, but just kind of choosing people from different groups. And then what you're going to do tonight, hopefully sometime tonight, if you're not already doing it now, sometime tonight, you're going to start jotting and transferring those 45 prospects to your success tracker. Okay. So your top 45 prospects are going to be placed on your success tracker on page 9 in your launch guide. And these are going to be the first people you're going to be connecting with. You're not going to necessarily neglect all of your 100 people that are on here, but this is who you're going to start with. And the reason being is that you're going to want to start with the people that are most likely to want to partner with you in some way, or are going to help even maybe just share or host a class. And so you want to start with those people, because then you'll be able to funnel all of the rest of your people who are just going to be customers, filter those through those people that are wanting to share or partner up with you. Does everybody understand that? Does that make sense to all of you? Okay, I can't see your faces anymore, so I hope that was a so last week, we talked about mindset, skill set, and tool set. Okay, so what we're going to talk about first with inviting is our mindset. Okay,
This is big.
and we're gonna address Matt's biggest fear, which is
fear.
do you look like that guy, Matt? Oh shoot! How did I get there?
I don't know.
How do I get the? Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does your screen keep going? Woo, woo, woo?
Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why our computer keeps kicking stuff out.
Sorry.
So what are the things that you're afraid of? I mean, really, ultimately, if we can sit there and we can identify our fear, if you put a name to it, then that helps us to overcome it. Just really being able to say, okay, this is what I'm scared of. Are you scared that they're going to say no? Are you scared they won't be your friend anymore? Are you going to scared they think you're crazy, or you must be one of those crunchy granola people, or
You're that
weirdo?
crazy oily person.
Are you that crazy oily person? And there are a lot of fears that we might have in our social interactions with people, but really, ultimately, when you sit there and you put them all down on paper, and what would you tell your kids about that fear, or what would you tell your friends about that fear? Is that something that they should let control and make a decision for them, or are they going to? Would you encourage them to, even though you have that fear, you need to step into that fear and move beyond it? And so recognize it, step into it, move beyond it, and tackle it. And one of my favorite quotes is I heard a guy that says all the time, he says, activity overcomes fear every single time. Activity overcomes fear every time. If you are scared and you start moving, then the fear is going to move away. It's not going to stay there. As you're in motion, then the fear is going to begin to subside. And if it doesn't, keep on moving anyways. And at that point, at least you've got momentum. So we don't want to take things personally. Just remember in our brains, okay?
Hold on, can I back up for just a second?
Please back up for a second.
So all these things on this list here, the whole that Jim was talking about, or maybe they'll give you the silent treatment, or the fear that they're going to ask a question I don't know the answer to. Those are actually all going to happen.
Yeah, by the way.
So just, that's okay. It's okay though.
I have good news for you.
They are going to say no. I've had tons of no's.
Mm-hmm.
I've had, I don't know if I've had anybody not be my friend anymore, but I've had people think they are weird. And you know what I just say? I am weird.
Mm-hmm.
We embrace our weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
I
feel like I've had some people come close.
They will judge me. They judge Jim all the time. They think at his job that he is like the weirdest guy using oils, and his closest coworker thought that he was just crazy for even diffusing oils and wanting to, like, for those of you who don't know, he works at a church and he's a children's pastor, so he wanted to diffuse oils in classrooms to help get rid of germs and things like that, and they just thought that was crazy. I always had the fear of asking a question. I wouldn't know the answer to it. Many times I have not known the answer, but I have known resources. I mean, we have an amazing team. We have amazing resources. We have books that we can find answers to. So all those things, I just wanted to say, those things are going to happen, and it's okay.
Yeah, and don't take it personally. Just remember they're not saying no to you as a person. They're saying no to a product. And just because they say no doesn't mean that it's a forever no. It could be a no for right now. And we've had a lot of examples of that. Amy is 2 years, 3 years. What's the longest now?
Well, I've worked and planted seeds in people's lives sometimes for 2 years before they thought, you know what, I think there's some legitimacy to this. Or they've said, I think I finally get this. Or they've had some successes with some things that I've either given them or something, and they're like, huh. And
we have some friends that bought oils, had them for a year before they ever started using them, and then they decided they wanted to build a business.
One's on here tonight. Okay.
So you never know what you're going to get.
So you really do. You never know, because you really are planting seeds. And think about this in your own life. How many times has your life situation dramatically changed in 6 months' time? Maybe financially, maybe just family situations that have dramatically changed for the worse or for the better in a 6-month time frame. Anybody ever experienced like major financial changes, losing a job, and all of a sudden your life situation changes, a divorce and your life situation completely changes from one 6-month time frame to another? You never know when someone's life situation changes drastically that you're going to be there for them, whether it's a health need or whether they're now more open to some natural solutions, or whether they now want to build a business because of one of those situations, and you're there for them. You're there at that time. Those are the two biggest prayer needs that people have when they pray, is about their health and about finances. And with doTERRA, there's answers with both of those. So yeah, don't take it personally when someone says no. In fact, we're going to encourage you guys tonight to get the most no's.
Mm-hmm.
So
and remember, the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes.
And that's really just the law of averages, you guys. That truly, the more no's that you have with things, then the closer you are to yeses. So, oh yeah, Matt, 1.5 years guilty. Yeah. Okay. So we're talking tonight about sharing an experience with others. We're talking about inviting them to learn more and then reminding them to come. And when you meet with someone, when you're inviting someone, you can be inviting them to meet one-on-one with you. You can be inviting them to meet with you at Starbucks, meeting with someone and a couple of their friends, doing a small group. Or you can do a class, you can do a webinar through Zoom chat. There's really tons of ways that you can be inviting to, and we're going to talk more in depth about that next week when we talk about presenting. But a really simple way to talk to people about oils, even opening up the conversation when they're talking about different ailments or different conditions. People talk about that kind of stuff. Have you guys seen on Facebook or people at work say, I'm dealing with this, or I'm not sleeping, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with this. And an easy way to approach them about it is, are you open to trying something natural for that? It's a really simple way, really casual way to just asking, are you open? And that's a very good word to use, open. Think about the times when someone's asked you, are you open to something? Psychology says we're like, well, yeah, yes, of course, I'm an open person, don't we? We like to consider ourselves as open people to different things, new things. So it's a really good way to kind of naturally approach people, is asking them, just are they open to some kind of natural solution for that particular, whatever they're complaining about, talking about. If they're talking about it on Facebook, I typically like to talk to them about it privately. Like I'll private message them and say, hey, so-and-so, I saw you were up all night with your child teething or whatever the situation is. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hey, are you open to something natural for that? If so, just let me know and I can help out.
It also takes the pressure off them too. They don't feel like the whole world is wondering what they're going to come back with as their answer. So I
have made the mistake of blasting immediately in a comment on Facebook, like, you should try lavender, blah, blah, blah. Or I've seen people say, I can sell you that, and that's really just not a servant way of approaching somebody, and really high pressure to them. And so if you can just ask them if they're open to that, then it kind of takes the pressure off of everybody, and then you can go from there. And speaking along those lines, try to always be prepared. How can you be prepared when you are, gosh, I've been out I don't know if it was a concert or what it was, and the person next to me was like, oh, I've got a headache. And I remember thinking, oh, I think I've got something. And I thought I had peppermint in my purse, and I'd actually taken it out. And I remember being frustrated because I didn't have that for them. And And, you know, it doesn't have to be a big deal. You know, if you were sitting next to somebody who had a headache and you had an aspirin with you, you wouldn't go, oh my gosh, are they going to think I'm crazy for offering that to them? Or are they going to think I'm a oily, you know, crazy oil person? No, you would immediately go, oh, I've got an aspirin. I'll be happy to share with you. But now you have a natural tool that works, that you could say, hey, I've got peppermint that I can share with you. So have those on hand, have them ready with you at all times. I have, like, from Aroma Tools, they have nice little wallet size or keychain size things where you can put your oil vials, and sometimes I keep like several bottles of lavender in there, not for me, knowing that I'm going to give some away. And so, did you want to talk about the whole giving?
Yeah. So I think one of the things is outlined.
Or do we want to talk about that when we do how not to share and how to share?
Well, how about this? Just let me give you a little preview of coming attractions. We're
Okay.
going to examine the idea of sharing oils versus not sharing oils, and when might be the appropriate time to do that.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but let's check out and see.
Yeah. So, and when you're when you're sharing an experience, think about it being more specific to their needs. Like I said, you know, headache happening, I'm not going to offer, you know, Digest Zen necessarily. I'm going to offer maybe peppermint or the past tense. And it was going to share because this is a really funny video. I hope it does. If not, this is a little bit about how not to share with others. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this video.
doTERRA, you're interested in doTERRA. We need to get some oils on you. Here, smell me. Here, breathe this in. Breathe this in. You're going to be my builder. I'm so excited. Here, 3 things about oils. They're natural. They're faster. They're less expensive. CTPG. CTPG.
Oh,
You can use them in the
lost
air.
it.
Put them on topically. You can take them internally. Here, let me dump some down your throat right now. Here, tip your head back. Tip your head back. Come on. Oh, gas chromatograph. Mass spectrometry. Do you have a headache? Do you have a headache? Oh, I'll give you a headache. Here. That'll get the past tense. Let me hit you in the head. I'll hit you in the head. You need to get the power 3. We got to talk about power 3. Do you have any sore muscles? Are you sore right now? You need deep blue. We can get some deep blue if you're sore. And then you need balance. You need balance every day. And you need LOV. LOV, you got to have LOV. You got to look young. You got to feel young. Do you want to look young like me? You need more energy. You need less pain, more mitochondria, less inflammation. You need to look young. You need to feel young. New year, new you. Terrazyme, Zendercrit, On Guard, Mitamax, GX, PB. You're my new builder. Big hug. We're so excited. We're going to build. Sorry about this. We have no oil for that.
So that's just a little funny way of just saying those would be not ways that you want to share with other people.
But we kind of default to that sometimes.
Do we sometimes? I know I have. I have gotten in situations where I feel like I need to just vomit everything I know. And so really when you're kind of inviting and sharing with people, there's no need to kind of vomit all the information. Give people kind of information in kind of digestible amounts.
Mm-hmm.
Think about if you were ever overwhelmed by all the information maybe that you were given. And kind of along those lines, some other things to think about when how not to share. Don't give away all of your oils. You want to be generous in giving, but don't give, whole bottles of Digestin and whole bottles of lavender and all this stuff, because what you'll find is then people will end up wanting you to just be like their
dealer.
Their dealer.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come to you. They'll come to you when they run out, and then that's all. And then also, really, you're doing them a disservice for a couple of reasons, because they only know about those couple of oils,
mm-hmm.
but then also they're not being able to have their own account and get their own points and everything. Mm-hmm. In fact, even my own mom, she was one of the first people we shared with. I let her order off my account. Actually, I think a couple of times,
yeah.
and I was like, okay, now we're going to get your own account. And she really didn't want to have anything to do with that because she was not tech savvy. And she was like, no, I want to just order from you. And I said, no, you really need your own account. And I'm going to teach you how to use it. I'm going to teach you how to get on. And now she's great. And she knows how to order her own stuff and all kinds of things. But even my own mother, I did not let her order off my own account everything, and I just say, I'm going to give you my own discount. It's really just a disservice. In fact, if you hear of other people doing that, I would discourage them from doing that, because really they're stealing points, honestly, for the first thing, from the other person, because you're getting those points on your LRP. But then also, it's not really set up the way the business works, and they're not getting to experience all the membership benefits like you are as well. So another don't rely on online invitations for things. Mm-hmm. Blasting out like 50 emails all at the same time to the same people. When you get a mass email and it doesn't seem personal in any way, you tune it out. Same thing with those Facebook invites that you get, right? Who's had one or many, where you just get this big, huge, you see that someone has invited their entire friends list, they've invited 1,000 people to something, and you know that you were just a number in that. They weren't thinking about you to invite them. And so think about that. When you do invite via email or via Facebook or things like that, do it as personalized as you can. Sometimes we'll do the copy and paste where we'll, have a general invitation. But when you do that, change the name, like make it personalized and make it that person's name, and making sure it's the correct name. And then maybe add something personal in there, like, I hope you had a great time on your trip last week. I saw on Facebook you had a trip. Something personalized to make that connection with them, because this is a relationship business. You want to be connecting with them. And then when you also, and this is the other thing, when you're inviting, don't prejudge what somebody's wanting or what someone's needing. You never know who, we would have been the perfect example of somebody they would probably not invite because we had no money. No money. We had no money to buy even the basic kit. And so you can't prejudge that person, because we made it work. We knew we couldn't afford it, but we knew we needed them, and we figured out a way. We just made it happen. I've known, who was it who was sharing with us? They had a couple that they were working with that had lost their job, and they'd been out of work for like 3 months. And she was telling them about the different enrollment kits, and they told her that they wanted to go with the diamond kit. And she hadn't even told them about that. They just researched it themselves, and they said they wanted to go with the diamond kit. And she'd never even thought about talking to them about that, because they had been without work for 3 months. And they told her that they saw this as an investment, and they wanted to build the business. And so they had savings that they had saved up from being out of, knowing that they were going to be out of work, and had saved that up specifically for something like this. And so you can't prejudge. You never know what someone is wanting to do. So just think about that whenever you're inviting people. Some of the most people that I thought were not the most oil savvy or natural end up using oils, and then sometimes even end up sharing your building. Mm-hmm. So you never know. Okay, so here's some things on how to share. Let's see
if this one works. Haha.
I love this video. Is it playing?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Peterson, and I want to share with you today what I call the law of the harvest. Years ago, when I was in sales and just getting started on that path, and I was new to it, and I had nerves and doubts and fears, like many of you, I assume, as you're starting anything new or a new path or a new business. And I was introduced to that phrase that the harvest cannot be prevented. And I don't know about you, but as we're working through life, I really love the concept of a garden, right? Is that there's a certain law of the universe that what we plant and nourish must bring forward its like fruit. And so when you think about for yourself, there are times where it's really easy to get discouraged. I've been there myself, where you're putting in the effort You're nourishing that garden. You're out there watering it, weeding it, and maybe you're not seeing the results as quickly as you would like. But there's these amazing laws at play in the universe that if you stick with something, you will meet with success. See, there's this phrase that I love to teach that says this: persistence trumps talent. There will always be a harvest that comes every year, every fall, without fail, if we are faithful and consistent to do our part to nourish that garden. Now, for some of you, you might be in what I call the July of your life right now. You may have started in May, so to speak, symbolically, started planting that garden. We're all excited, bought new overalls, new gardening tool, got out there, planted those seeds, and it was fun, right? Right out of the gate. And then a few weeks goes by, and a month goes by, or 2 months goes by, and maybe there's some sprouts coming through, or maybe there's been one or two little things, but there isn't this full crop of results that you're watching, and it seems like everyone else has but you. That's your July. You're now hot, you're sweaty, you're tired. Maybe your partner who joined in that garden with you in the beginning is nowhere to be found any longer, and it's up to you. I promise you, if you push through that July, in other words, that adversity and that struggle and that challenge, you will meet with success, because your harvest cannot be prevented. Be more concerned about being true to your dreams than your dreams coming true. Say that again. You be loyal. There's loyalty pays great dividends. Be true to your dreams, and your dreams will be true to you. The harvest can never be prevented. That universal law is in play for all of us. So I invite you to choose to be persistent, choose to continue to nourish your dreams, and you also will meet with success.
You guys, this is so true. Anybody seen this video before? I remember we first watched this video really about the law of the harvest not long after we had started building our business. And I remember thinking, everybody's saying that if I just keep planting these seeds, I do this, I will see the harvest. And you guys, we have over and over and over. And we didn't even have these tools that we are giving you guys now. And so it's exciting to see, because in 3.5 years, we've been able to reach diamond. And it's true, it's because we've been planting the seeds, that consistent persistence. So when you're sharing your experiences with others, share them with the excitement and sincerity. Do personal invitations, ideally face-to-face when you're inviting people, or via text, phone call, direct messaging with Facebook or things like that. And always follow up with those people. Maybe if somebody's not available, then have a backup date. Have that calendar, your schedule handy, so that you can say, okay, well, I can meet with you this date or this date. And have those available. Use social media as a reminding tool, because we're on social media a lot. We can utilize that as a way to remind people about events that we're doing. And treat this like a farmer who's planting seeds. It takes time to cultivate and nurture those relationships. And then, like I mentioned a minute ago, give people information in kind of digestible chunks instead of vomiting everything to them. It will really benefit you in the long run. Okay, so are you open to natural solutions? Okay, so we've asked that question, right? We've asked, are you open to natural solutions or something natural for that? Oh, and you said we were going to talk about when to give some samples for things and when not to.
Yeah. So basically, one of the things that we've kind of begun to recognize is that giving everybody a sample may not be the best way to share. It may not be the best way to get people to join. And so when what we've seen that has been very effective actually is when people say, hey, I heard, I've been hearing about essential oils. I want to talk about that. then typically what we would have done in the past is say, well, here, let me give you some. Why don't you check these out, see how they do for you, and then later we'll talk, and I'll follow up with you in a few days. But what we've seen, the best thing to do is just say, hey, well, I'll tell you what, let's just set up an appointment, okay? So the best thing to do is to sit down and to talk to them regarding the oils and about doTERRA, about their particular needs. That's going to be the highest, the most effective way to talk to them about doTERRA. If you were to say, just as a reminder, they're not buying lavender because it smells nice. They're buying a solution to their sleep problem. And so when you talk to them, if we think to ourselves, well, they have to have the lavender first and experience it. Well, you didn't necessarily need Tylenol first. You just bought it because you knew it worked for your headache. And so the same thing is true with essential oils. People are looking for a solution to their problems. And when you present them with that solution, then they're gonna look to purchase the solution. Okay.
Particularly in your situation, Nichelle, when you're doing a lot of things online.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually going to be talking a little bit more about this. We're going to have, we actually have Tasha Smith is a sales training coach that has been helping a lot of teams kind of utilize the Share Success system, but kind of tweak how we're maybe approaching people. And one of the things she has talked about is, especially if you're online and people are requesting samples just to kind of request something or try it out, what we are suggesting now to do and what she's training people to do is to set up an appointment with them. Set up an appointment to talk about their needs and their particular situation. Put the focus and emphasis on them, and to talk about doTERRA with them and how that would benefit them. Give them the best 2 options, which would be the best 2 kit options that would be for them, and then let them know that they don't have to buy anything, but if they do see something that they like, then you can help them get it. And we're going to go a little bit more into depth in that over the next couple of weeks. We're trying to set something up with Tasha Smith right now so that we can kind of hone that in a little bit more on how that can infiltrate into our Share Success system. But on that same token, if you have a mom who's come to you, like I've had many times, and their baby is not sleeping at all, and they're getting no sleep, and this is a mom, as a mom yourself or as a parent yourself, you know what that feels like when your baby's getting no sleep. By all means, don't set up an appointment with them. Give them some lavender, show them how to use it, help that mom get some sleep and the baby some sleep. I've had moms come to me, my baby has had an earache for 3 days. Yes, I'm most certainly going to give them an oil. I want to help them out. But think about those instances where maybe somebody might come to you and it's just like, oh, I've heard about this, or I think I want to try something. Those kind of situations, you want to think about getting them infiltrated into a class or setting up a time to meet with them. So again, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in depth, and I don't want that to be confusing to you guys at all. But really the next step is really, are they open to learning more about oils or natural solutions? So are they open to natural solutions at all? If they are, then great. Are you open to learning more about them? It's kind of like another door that you're opening. So, and I like to use this phrase, if I would you. Okay, this is from Eric Worre and his book called GoPro that we've talked about last week as a really high recommendation book that we have. But he likes to say this phrase, if I would you, works really well when you're inviting someone to something or inviting someone to hear more about doTERRA. Because think about when someone says, if I were to give you this pen, would you write something down for me? Well, usually you're just automatically like, sure, yeah. You don't even know what they're going to ask you to write down, right? But if I were to give you this pen, would you just write something down for me? Psychology says that when someone says, if I'm going to do something for you, will you do something for me? Usually when someone offers to do something for us, we feel a need to give back. It's a reciprocal, it's human nature. We want to do something reciprocal in return. So if I were to give you this bottle of lavender for your baby, will you let me know? Would you let me know how it's helping? Or if I were to send you this webinar, this class that I've attended, would you give me feedback on it? It's a great way and you could utilize that in different scenarios, that if I, would you, and lots of different scenarios as you're approaching people about inviting them to learn more or to experience more. So don't be afraid though, when you've given someone something, don't be afraid to ask them how they liked it. Many times if some people had a negative experience, like they felt like it didn't work, or they felt like maybe it wasn't helpful, or maybe they even forgot to use it. It just takes a little bit of tweaking, like, okay, make sure you go back and open the bottle. Or maybe they used too much, or maybe not enough, or maybe they didn't use it often enough. Sometimes it literally just takes a little bit of tweaking. It's usually user error, somebody new to something. And so you can just ask kind of some clarifying questions. You know, how much did you use? Where did you use it? You know, did you even use it? So, so sometimes it just takes a little bit of coaching before you figure out where the error lies. Or maybe sometimes there's the case where maybe it was just a different oil that they needed. But for okay, I think I'm gonna move on from there. Is everybody good about that? Okay. So once you've invited them to either a class that you're hosting, or are helping teach, or meeting up with them at Starbucks, remind. How many times have you really wanted to attend something and you forgot because you didn't have a reminder on your phone, or somebody didn't call you, or somebody didn't text you to remind you?
It's my mom's birthday.
And you wanted to go to that thing, or you wanted to remember it, you just didn't.
Mhm.
So send a reminder text. Make that reminder phone call. Hey, I'm so excited to see you tomorrow. Usually somewhere between 24 and 48 hours before you meet with them. Give them a call, text them, send a direct message, and make it exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to giving you that gift to meet your headache needs. Don't say like, I hope you can still make it. I did that. I made the mistake of doing that. Early on, I'd say things like, I hope you might still come if it's okay, or do you think it might be okay, convenient to come?
Okay, are you still planning on coming?
Are you still planning on coming? That's one that I used to say a lot. Don't say that. Assume that they are coming. Assume that they're excited. Assume that they are ready to learn more about this. One of the other ways that's really effective in reminding, so this would work mostly if you are, if you're hosting a class, or if someone else is hosting a class for you. So you can give the person who is teaching the class the guest list. And now if you're the host and the teacher, you're playing the host and the teacher role, you can give that guest list to your upline and ask them to come. But what's going to happen is the host gives the teacher the contact list of those people who are coming. And then what happens is the teacher will contact those people on your behalf, and will say, I'm so excited, we're so excited you're coming tomorrow to the introductory class. We're looking forward to meeting you there. What are you most hoping to learn? We want to have a personalized gift ready for you at the class. And what happens with that is you've asked them a question, and usually when they respond, they let you know already what they're thinking about. Well, I'm really been dealing with anxiety, so I want to learn more about that. Or maybe they're going to say, I've really been just wanting to know about the business. So you get a picture of kind of where they're coming from. And then when you offer to give a personalized gift, you now know what to gift. If they're saying that they're dealing with anxiety, maybe you don't know what to give yet, but somebody in your upline, or maybe you have a reference book to look and see something that you could give them. And you can have it ready for them at the class. And how much more committed are you to going to that class if there's a personal gift waiting for you? You're a lot more likely. So we've been utilizing this tool. And so as you're new and you're starting to host your own classes as you're launching, give those guest lists. If you're doing a class, launching classes, give those guest lists to your upline so that we can kind of incorporate that and help you with that. And then once you've done that, as other people are hosting classes for you, you can do that for them. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so do we have enough time to do this?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, maybe we can change the times that we do it so that we can still do our giveaways. We have prizes for you guys tonight. Who's excited? Okay, we were gonna, if we had enough time, we were going to do a little role play and then also texting blitz. But just one thing I want to share about this part here when you're starting to invite. Instead of telling people that, keep going, zooming in and out. I'm sorry, you guys. Instead of telling people that I do doTERRA, tell people why. We talked about that last week. Hopefully you've clarified, kind of honed that down, because people buy more into why you're doing what you're doing than what, or what you do, or what you sell, or what you have. It's more about why you're doing it. So just think about,
if you think about, so what do you do? I sell essential oils versus what do you do? We try to empower moms to be able to take care of their kids and even potentially have an income, a source of income.
Yeah.
That's a totally different invitation right there. Those are two totally different things.
Yeah. Yeah. So just kind of to recap, we're sharing an experience by asking them if they're open to trying something natural. We're inviting them to learn more by asking, are you open to learning more about how these can help you? And then third, you're reminding them, excited to see you there. Can't wait to see you. And I'll have your personalized gift ready for you. What are you hoping to learn most? So we were going to do a little 10-minute text blitz. We're still going to do the text blitz, but we're just not going to do it tonight. Jim's going to come up with a time frame for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to type in the chat box here a link for you to go to. And I think there might even be, there isn't here. I can't remember if in your launch guide there's some texting examples. If not, I want you to try to go to this website here, bit.ly/launch Dropbox. And I think that should take you guys to a document that says text blitzing scripts. And it will have some examples of some ways to reach out to people if you don't already know what to say. Obviously, you can take them. They're just scripts, so you can take them and kind of tweak them to make them sound more like your voice. Mm-hmm. Again, you're going to make it personal. You're going to put those, keep it short and simple, keep it real, and use their name. You can copy and paste, but just use their name. And think about, are you trying to follow up with people maybe that you've already been reaching out to? Or what's your objective? Are you inviting people to class, or are you inviting people to maybe talk with them about the business opportunity? And the reason we're going to do a text blitz is because 90% of texts are read within 3 minutes. So probably don't text tonight because it's probably a little late. Mm-hmm. But pick a time. What are we going to do? Who are we going to kind of cut this off? Or how are we going to?
Let's give it 24 hours.
So we'll do a 24-hour time frame.
So tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
So tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and can they post? How about we do this? Tomorrow by 9 o'clock, you're going to do a text blitz time, and somebody let me know if you've gone to that link and it opens what I'm saying. It opens because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. And then post your results in our Building 3 Life Essentials group, because we're going to be giving a prize away to the most, I already opened it and it opened. Yeah. But I just want to make sure they were able to.
Yeah, so I just opened it here.
Oh,
so this is it right here.
Booking classes, scripts. But I wanted to show them. Somewhere. So, oh, it's not showing. Oh, so we're going to be giving away a doTERRA branded travel diffuser and a bottle of white fur and a pipes. Have you guys seen these? They're Post-it notes with all of the pipes on here so you can track how can I prepare today? Who can I invite today? Who can I present to today? Who can I enroll today? And how can I support today? Along with a bottle of cedar wood. So the most classes booked is the diffuser and white fur.
Classes / one-on-ones. So it can be a
Yes.
Zoom chat, it can be a sit down and coffee, or it can be an actual class.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be like, you know, a 10 people class.
Mm-hmm.
And the most no's. Just go up.
Face that fear.
Okay, so just post the classes booked, and that can be, you know, 1-to-1 or small group, those kinds of things, or a Zoom chat. Post the number and then post how many no's you got. Okay, you guys don't be afraid to do something big. Okay, yay! Okay, who's excited about that? This is for January, right? It's for any time. I mean,
Yeah.
It can be for February as well.
I would say, yeah, just within the next month is when you want to try to nail a class down. And some people, and that you don't need to have a date necessarily picked out, but just a confirmation that they say, yes, I can do this, or I will do this for you.
So here's some other options in case you want to screenshot some of these too, of some sample Blitz messages too. So in case you guys want to screenshot that as well. And then lastly, so this is our to-do list for tonight, okay? Start writing your pipes, your prepare, invite, present, enroll, and support. Make sure you have the right, okay.
I just want to interject, really, I'll be very brief. Why do you write all of them out every single day? The goal is that you get sick of writing the same one down that you haven't been doing. And so it's important to write all of them out every single day. All of them out every single day. Start over the same list every single day. So eventually you're just going to say, instead of doing that again tomorrow, I'm just going to get it done today so I don't have to write it again tomorrow. So that's kind of the why you're going to do that. So just help you make sure that you do them.
Yeah, and preparing is going to be about you. Inviting, presenting, enrolling is going to be about your prospects. And then supporting is going to be about your team, the people that you're already supporting and you've enrolled. So make sure you have the right tools. Make sure you have some live guides for when you are enrolling those people to be able to follow up with them. Some share guides, build guides. Make sure you have tools like to give out oils and things like that. So, and we want to encourage you to invite at least 10 people to take action of some sort and follow up with 10 people. And then also in the next 24 hours, this is not on our checklist, but in the next 24 hours, you're going to do the text blitz. Find 3 things that you're doing that you thought were helping your business but are not income producing activities, and figure out a way that you can try to eliminate them or lessen them. I'm even doing that right now. That will be a never ending cycle. We're working on hiring a virtual assistant to take off some things that I'm doing that are not income producing activities. Again, here's some ways to connect with us if you don't already have that info. And does anybody have any additional questions for tonight? I know we went over again a little bit, so I'm sorry, you guys. Anybody have any things to clarify or any additional questions? Nothing? Everybody's good? Everybody's excited? Everybody's scared? Remember, the same feeling that you have of fear is the same feeling that you get when you're excited. It's the same. It's the same chemicals. So just transfer it, having the fear.
That fear is your body and your brain telling you you're about to do something awesome.
Yes, it is. It is. Well, good to see you guys tonight, and we'll talk about presenting next week, okay? Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I think, where's our Oh, there we go.